Hey, oh, it's the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW, and today we're fantasy booking our very own Wrestlemania 39. Now, I know a lot about wrestling, and by that I mean not too much. I am a fan for years. I love the sport, I love the spectacle, I love the backstage nonsense. It's all great. I don't know where I was going with that thought, but it's all to say that I'm excited for WrestleMania 39. And I've been following wrestling again recently, and I'm loving some of the storylines. Some of them are working, some of them are not. As always, which is honestly better than what it was a couple years ago when none of the stories were working except for like Roman Reigns. But now that we're kind of we're wrapping up sort of the first, I would say, iteration, the V1 of Triple H's creative vision. I think WrestleMania 39 is a great jumping off point. I think this is the beta. This is his creative beta. He's like, let me test the waters. Let me bring some people back. Let me see what's working. Let me see what's not, which I appreciate. When you're in a creative role like that, you can't just be perfect all the time. You got to test stuff. I am a designer, and a big part of UX or UI design is testing. You have to put it in front of people and get feedback, hear what they say, tweak it, make moves, get something out there. Your product can't just exist in a vacuum. You got to put it in front of your people. Triple H and his team are doing that. They're like, let's see what people like. Let's bring back these people I mentored in NXT. Let me see what they're like on the mic. Let me see what they're like in front of people. Let me slap a title on them. Let me put them in an angle. Something. He's testing the waters. So when people give their opinions on how is Triple H doing versus Vince McMahon, it's a little too early to make any assumptions. All I can say is that I am enjoying myself in the pro wrestling sense. I'm enjoying what's out there, even the bits that aren't jiving, which we'll get into in other episodes. I enjoy those bits for what they are as well. They're all test beds for feeling out the audience, testing out how long they can endure certain things, how this long form storytelling is going to play out, and how these wrestlers react to that sort of storytelling. So I commend them. They're building this thing up. They're getting people comfortable in this new system. So this past year has been, or this past 6 to 8 months, whatever. I have no idea or concept of time anymore. However long he's been doing it, up until WrestleMania, that is the beta test. I think the Raw after WrestleMania is usually the hard reset for all storylines and the hard reset for the company. They're like, all right, we're on the road to WrestleMania again. We're starting over, day one. That is going to be the first sort of let's get started moment. That is Triple H's first, fully, this is going to be my entire year at the helm of creative. So WrestleMania 39 is going to be a very important milestone for him. He's closing out everything that's come before. He is putting the kibosh on some, storylines that maybe aren't working, some storylines that are totally working and making the company money. So it's going to be exciting to see what that 2 days looks like, especially now with all the new people coming in. Can you imagine who he's going to bring back for the Raw after WrestleMania? If he's willing to bring back, Hit Row and with Valkyrie, what is her name? Valhalla, Sarah Logan, and, all these, great talents. Can you imagine who's showing up later? Hopefully Keith Lee. I have my fingers crossed that he gets his shot back in WWE. He's a great talent. You want to talk about someone who can run with the IC title? Keith Lee is that guy who he'll put some stank on that belt. But I'm getting off topic as usual. Okay, let's fantasy book our end to this beta program that Triple H is running. So I'm just going to rapid fire hit you with my list of, matches, let's say. I just scribbled these down before I hit record. I'm going to run them down, and then I'm going to go back over them and say if what I said makes sense. Okay. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the unified heavyweight titles. Boom. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the unified tag team championship. I know the Usos are in there twice. Just bear with me. Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul for the WWE Limelight Championship. We'll go over that in a moment. Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey for the WWE Women's SmackDown Championship. Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Bliss versus Charlotte Flair in a Hell in a Cell. Asuka versus Bayley. Ridge Holland versus Big E. For some reason, I wrote The New Day versus FTR. I don't know where I got that nonsense from. And Bray Wyatt versus Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship, the perfect IC belt, the vintage white and gold title. Now, everything I just said is bananas and ridiculous. And the only reason I made this list, the only reason, is because I wanted to highlight Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. In a previous episode, I made it clear that Jey Uso is literally the only person who can take the title off of Roman. I'll go into that a little bit more right now as to why. Maybe not as to why, but just my thoughts and feelings on it. And then we'll go through the rest of the stuff. So Jey takes the belt from Roman. He was the first. He's the main event guy. He's his right-hand guy, right? So what you'd have to do is build the bloodline up. You know, they're on their highest highs now after War Games and with Sami Zayn. They have to get like a downslope, right? And in my mind, they are going to dismantle the bloodline just a little bit, where they're going to fracture themselves, maybe have a little bit of inner turmoil again. Remember when Jimmy was brought back, he was trying to get his brother out from underneath Roman's thumb, and then he fell in line to keep his brother safe, and now he's just sort of in it. We need to get Jimmy out of it. You know, we have to get him. He has to see Roman for the manipulator he is again and kind of dip out a little bit. And that, basically everyone has to leave, and it has to be, again, Roman and Jey together. And then Jey finally realizes what Roman has done. He starts picking at him. They go to WrestleMania. They fight. Jey pins him. 1, 2, 3. This episode is I didn't realize how much I've been talking, so this episode's almost done. So let me kind of burn through that. Listen to the previous episode of Roman versus Jey. If you have any other thoughts, let me know, and we could talk about it some more later. The one I want to talk about before this episode ends is Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul for the WWE Limelight Championship. All right, so both Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, for however you might feel about them, have done amazing work in WWE as guest professional wrestlers. Logan Paul specifically, that young man has, regardless if you like him or not, and I'm ambivalent. I don't care. I've never watched anything that he's ever done. Not even that boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. But every time I hear about it, he's doing well. He is a talented young man. And him showing up in WWE and kind of doing what he's been doing has been amazing. And Bad Bunny put on a great performance the last time he was in a wrestling ring. So I figured, why not tell Triple H, since he's redoing all the belts anyway, just throw in an extra one, call it the Limelight Championship, which is basically just like a guest celebrity belt that you could give to, some big name celebrity that comes in to wrestle. And they have to be good, honestly. So it's between these two, Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. Honestly, Logan Paul has to go over in that match and get that belt. And then he can put it on his mantle and say that he is a WWE champion, even if it is a vanity title. All right, that's it for today's episode. Man, it's a short one. I want to go through the other stuff. All right, remember, guys, I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.